Everybody. So, I am here today with two journals that have been finished recently. Let's see here. How do I begin? I'm going to do a flip through on them, but I want to kind of go over them. So, I had this book in my stash of books because I wanted to do a Raggedy Ann journal. And it was lost amongst the list of all the journals I wanted to do. And then just recently I found this book, same book, just different years and obviously different, loved differently. But I found this one at a thrift store for super cheap. And I just loved how old and grungy, and I just loved it. So it was just a couple dollars, so I grabbed it and came home and then realized I had the same book, which was okay. This one had been loved quite well. They both have, actually. They've both had crayon scribbles in them and all this and that. This guy his little eyes were poked out. I'll show you a little bit more when I go over it, but I didn't realize it when I bought it, or I probably wouldn't have bought it, but I got home and realized just how there's a really deep scratch here, and her eyes were poked out, and she was just loved. And so I started breaking them down. I thought, oh, well, I'll just do one more vintage and one more bright. And as I started breaking down these books, some of the pictures spoke to me in a darker tone than other pictures. The story is not dark. You know Raggedy Ann and Andy. They're cute little dolls. But some of the pictures just were darker, dark humor than others. And so as I broke down these books, and I had another Raggedy Ann book that I worked with as well, I just kind of separated them and decided, since this one eerily had her eyes poked out, I struggled with what to do to fix that. I played with buttons and beads and ended up going with these little metal brads. But anything I did made her look really creepy. She's not so bad with the little brads, but anything I was finding, beads and buttons and all that, just made her look really creepy. So I thought, okay, maybe we'll do a creepy-ish dark one and we'll do a happy one. So that's what we ended up with. So I wanted to do a flip through. And I think I'll start with the dark one first. I think this was 1918 copyright, and the other one's 1947, I believe. So anyways, we just kind of went with it. Again, these images are images from the book, and you just kind of use your imagination. So I added my own spine because these books were really thin. So I created my own spine. It's like a 1-inch spine, I believe. Created my own spine, did some fabric underneath, and then decided I wanted to add this grungy material. It's actually from an old purse that I had. It had a really pretty pattern underneath, and then this cloth netting laid over it, and it snagged and ended up having to get rid of the purse, but I saved this netting, and it's been in my stash for a while. But I just felt it really belonged here. So we covered the spine with that. We've got a little circle here with this red and white patch of fabric. You'll see it throughout. And then there's another patch here. Tied it with, we got eyelets here, tied it with some gray vintage, my mind's going blank as to what this is, hem facing bias tape, something of that nature. Kept the original cover. You can see here where my brads came through, so you can see how her eyes were poked out. They like really got in there and poked her eyes out. So, but I left that just because it kind of goes along with the story, my story of this book. I left the inside cover. This is Marcella, the little girl of the story. Scrapbook paper. I've sewn the little scraps of this red and white striped patch fabric throughout the edges. And so yeah, just the images again are taken from this book, the same book that the images are from the Happy Book. It's the same book. But just some of them, using your imagination, could go a little dark. I mean, she's pulling a dog's tail. This one got me really. Again, using your imagination. Journal card made out of the chickens pecking Raggedy Ann. A little snippet from the book says Raggedy Ann and the chickens. This is some coffee dyed paper. I glued some gray vintage rickrack on some of the edges. Here is Raggedy Ann sitting on some eggs, for whatever that's worth. Yeah, this reddish pink is avocado dyed paper. Recently dyed. Little tuck spot here, and here is Raggedy Ann covered in paint. It's a journal card. She looks so sad and semi-creepy. Little tuck spot here. More of the vintage rickrack, avocado dyed paper. This is some music ledger sheet tucked in there. Scrapbook paper. Here's a picture of Marcella and Raggedy Ann. You can see she's missing an eyeball there. Here is, this is a postcard. I had a handful of doll postcards, and just to kind of go with the dark theme, I colored in their eyes. Grunged them up. This is Raggedy Ann hanging on the, the clothesline. She looks so sad, so scary as well. Tucked in here. This is a little bit of, I'm not exactly sure what this material is. It's really weird netting webbing type that I had in my stash. So it's throughout here as well. I kind of liken it to creepy doll hair. So yeah, this kind of has a creepy doll theme to it. Here is Marcella, and the dolls are up in the air somewhere. I didn't cut this image off. This is the image in the book. I didn't read the story, so I'm sure that there's an explanation for all this. Here is Raggedy Ann laying in the grass. Here is Raggedy Ann and some other toys with a pew pew. Raggedy Ann, and this card actually I think goes this way. They're falling, I don't know, they're falling out a window in here in this little card. It's tucked in here. There's some more of that webbing stuff. Little image of Raggedy Ann. This was from a page from another book. It says Pretend I'm Not Here. That just kind of gave me creepy dolls vibes. Another doll postcard. There's Marcella playing with her dolls. Another image of Raggedy Ann kind of laying in the muck and the mud. A little bit of that webbing stuff here. Avocado dyed paper. This is some tan, just some nice writing paper. Marcella and all her dolls lined up. Some people are really creeped out by dolls. Here is a clone of Raggedy Ann, which is, you know, creepy in and of itself. This is just an image from the book. She's falling off of a little bridge. The dogs just are kind of watching her. Or maybe they pushed her. Who knows? Again, use your imagination. Here she is. So this part of this story is Raggedy Ann gets put through the wash. Here is the Mamie, or the Marcella's maid, doing the washing. And you can see Raggedy Ann going through the wash, the steam and all that. Here she is in a pot of boiling water. Journal card. Again, it's kind of dark, but again, it's kind of use your imagination. This says Raggedy Ann and the Strange Dolls. There she is, kind of frumpy, laying against the wall. Here is the same image. So one of the books had a lot of black and white images. One of them had all color images. So here is the clone of the Raggedy Ann in the black and white with a little bit more of that weird webbing. Another creepy doll postcard. Again, these were not creepy until I blacked in their eyes. Here's another chicken pecking Raggedy Ann. A little word snippet says haunted. Here she is in the bed. Maybe she woke up from a bad dream. Who knows? Avocado dyed paper, coffee dyed paper. Here she is. This is just a page from the book. Somebody's throwing her up or catching her, one of the two. Tucked in, little tuck spot here. These little black tuck spots are made from a folder. Just had some gold and they're textured. Just in my scraps. Here's Raggedy Ann in the bed. This little doll kind of gave me the creeps, her eyes. A little bit more of that webbing for texture. Here's Raggedy Ann, and the birds are pecking her hair. Again, use your imagination. I maybe have some dark humor. This is a little snippet from the book. This little doll is crying. Raggedy Ann and this little, I don't know what they're doing. Again, use your imagination. Maybe he's telling her a secret. Maybe he's covering up her mouth. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of went there. So this is scrapbook paper. And I did some black splatter paint on the back to, again, tone down my white. So it's some metallic-y gray black paint. Avocado dyed paper. More tea dye or coffee dyed paper. You can see the rings in this where I laid it to dry on my stove. My stove was not on, but just the way that the pattern. There is Raggedy Ann going through the wash again. A little bit more of that weird texture stuff. Here is Raggedy Ann sitting in a corner. Now, in this picture, in one of the books, she clearly has a pencil in her hand. It's yellow and has a pencil lid. You can see that it's clearly a pencil. But this image didn't really look like a pencil. I was actually, before I broke down these books, I was kind of showing my friend. A friend of mine was over here. We were talking artsy stuff. And I opened the book, and this was in the first. She goes, oh my gosh, does she have a knife? And so, I don't know. Again, the other image looked clearly like a pencil. This one does not. So, we don't know what Raggedy Ann's doing there. Here is Marcella. I blacked her eyes out just because. Just because. Don't ask. I don't know. She's throwing Raggedy Ann in the air. Surely she's just playing with her. Avocado dyed paper. Another creepy doll postcard. Another page from, it's just a piece of paper from the book that says Pretend I'm Not Here. Again, that gives me creepy doll vibes. So, here is Marcella, and this says Raggedy Ann's New Sisters. And then here is Raggedy Ann with a couple of dolls. Nothing really scary about that, unless you don't like dolls. Here's an image of, in this part of the story, I think Raggedy Ann is getting like a makeover. But, yeah. This is another snippet from the book. She's tied to a kite. I imagine that would be kind of scary, but who knows. Avocado dyed paper, music ledger. Still my gray vintage throughout. Here's Raggedy Ann hanging by the power line. No, hanging by the wash line. Dripping wet. She does not look comfortable. Here she is piled up with some more of the other dolls and toys. And scrapbook paper. And so there you have it. This is the darker version. Again, I'm so back and forth about. I like it. It's funny to me. Hopefully it's not offensive, but I just had to go with. I had to go with it because those images were so dark in nature. I just had to go with it. So on to the happier version. This is the newer book. I did cloth on my spine. I bound it with some jute. I didn't really do much of a dangle. I braided this. I had this one strip of ABC ribbon in my stash, and so I thought, ABC's Raggedy Ann, that'd be cute. Original book, front and back cover. I eyeletted it. I put an eyelet in here so we can use this tie. Is some vintage. I'm gonna have to figure out the name of this. Seam bias, seam tape, something. I don't know, but you know what it is. I added 2 little childlike beads. They look like blocks and balls to me. So this one kind of it's a Raggedy Ann theme, of course, but it kind of has a childhood toy theme. You'll see puzzles and blocks and colors and all sorts of things. So I kept the original cover. It has some scribble scrabble in it, front and back. I kept it because I just think it's kind of cute. And again, you'll see that theme throughout here. This is kind of a childhood toys theme. So here's a little snippet from the book, and here's some little alphabet tiles. I spelt out Ann. Scrapbook paper with the blocks. Little tuck spot. These are images from the book, again, the more happier version. A little color page tucked in there. You can see I took my crayon and did scribbles throughout. Scrapbook paper, snippet from the book with my coloring marks. Avocado dyed paper in this one as well. We have a belly band made out of a collage board that I did a while back. I added some fabric scraps and a button. So buttons is another childhood thing. This is journal card with little fabric scraps. Just a little scrap of the block card tucked in here. This is a flip out. This is a shaker card flip out. You can kind of see, but he's filled with little hearts that move around. Journal space here. Scrapbook paper folded into a pocket. There are some teeny tiny puzzle pieces glued throughout here. A journal card. Little fabric sewed to the top. More of my color markings. Snippet from the book. Another snippet from the book. Color markings and some puzzle pieces. Journal card made out of image from the book. Tucked in here. Journal card snippet from the book. Tucked in here. This is another one of the collage board pieces with the button and the fabrics. Little tuck spot here made out of image from the book. This is a little tag that has Raggedy Ann on it. This is a little scrap paper. Note page. Journal space. See more of my crayon markings. This is the fly page of one of the books. It's old and grungy, and I just tucked it in there, along with this red little note page, a little snippet from the book. More color markings and puzzle pieces. This is a playing card, again going with childhood toys. This is a piece of the book from the front page of the book. Again, more scribble markings. Tucked a upper tuck spot with this collage board button fabric collage that I did. Little clusters. Avocado dyed paper. Here's some more of my crayon markings. The blue stripe and the red polka dot is washi tape throughout here. This is kind of a double pocket. In this pocket we have a tag that can double as a journal card, a little journal card with Raggedy Ann. It actually goes this way. She's laying in the grass. Tucks in there. Little tag that says Raggedy Ann and a little A. Tucked right in here with the little puzzle pieces. More of my crayon markings. A little snippet from the book. 2 signatures. Both of them are 2 signatures. More of the scrapbook paper that is the blocks. My crayon markings. A little snip from this one actually probably should go in the darker one. It's a little hand-drawn face. But anyways, collage board, cluster, tuck spot, snippet from the book, little crayon markings, belly band with my collage board and my fabric button snippets. Image from the book. Excuse me. Journal card tucked in there. Another image from the book, journal card. See, these are happier images. Little puzzle pieces and crayon markings down here. Another flip out, flip up with it's a shaker card. It's got the hearts in here that move around. It says enjoy. Plenty of writing room. A big journal card, image from the book. Tucked in this little pocket, image from the book. Little Raggedy Ann tag and a little note card tucked in here. This flip out has just a little notepad area. Snippet image from the book. Avocado dyed paper, snippet from the book. Again, these images are all from the book. I didn't add any. The only thing extra that's not from the book that I added were these two little color sheets. Another tag. It's got a dollhouse on it and Marcella playing with her dolls. Little Raggedy Ann tag tucked in here, so that's a double pocket. Puzzle pieces again. Another flip up. This one's a shaker card with the little hearts inside it. I wrote her name Ann in crayon here. Playing card and page from the book with all the scribble on it. Little upper tuck spot with the collage board. Fabric button cluster. Snippet from the book. Snippet from the book. More crayon markings. And I did not do these crayon markings. But there you have it. So that's the happier version of Raggedy Ann. These are both available. My Etsy shop's kind of on pause right now as I'm building my inventory. But these are both available if you're interested in one or both of them. So yeah, thanks for joining as I flip through both of these. Again, use your imagination with this guy. I don't know what to say. I just felt like I had to do something with the darker-ish images. So some of those images would not have worked well in the happier version. So that's why we did a dark and a happy. So there you go. Yeah, thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys soon.